Good morning, YouTube. Today is Wednesday, the 18th of February, and we have just finished up 40 minutes of Stairmaster, and we are now just out on the streets clocking on for our 3,000 steps. It is currently 3 a.m. in the morning, and we are off to a great start for the day. Body weight this morning was 102.5 kilos, which is a little bit up from yesterday after our higher carb day. So today we are going to run another high day, which for me is just adding a shitload of honey to my meals, because I don't actually want to add anything too voluminous to my stomach, just because I'm trying to keep my digestion on point and keep my waist tight. So that is the plan for today. It's going to be about 425 grams of protein, 900 grams of carbohydrates, and 30 grams of fat. Today, the plan is to get back to the house, eat meal one after I train abs, and we have got a pool session today. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to have to go and pick up my car from the body shop just yet, as they said they had to send it over to Baker Motors to get it scanned. So yeah, I may or may not get to have my Mercedes back, but we will see. So anyways, I'm going to film the pool session for you guys today. As far as whether I do a voiceover or talk during it, I'm not too sure, but we shall see. I know that you guys want content almost daily, so I'm going to try my best to film something. So I know the past couple of days I filmed most of the day. Today is just going to be a little bit of stuff this morning and my training most likely. So I will see you guys back at the house for meal one, and then I will take you through my pre-workout ritual again, and then we'll hit some pool at Genesis. So I'll see you all then, and I hope you guys have a lovely morning, and yeah, catch you in the next clip. Right, we have done our daily sauna and we are just out getting a few more steps in before our pre-workout meal. So as usual, this is going to bump us up to about that 6,500 step mark of my 10,000 allocated steps per day. Now, what you guys need to understand is that bodybuilding isn't that glamorous, I'll be completely honest. You know, people think, oh, you know, lad over there's got a sick physique and, you know, he must be out banging chicks left, right and center, and you know, he must get all this praise all the time and, you know, a lot of attention. In reality, man, bodybuilding is very secluded. It can be very lonely because it is very repetitive, and a lot of people don't actually get the sport. They don't understand it. They don't realize the sacrifices that you need to make, and they don't understand that, you know, you can't be out until midnight on the weekend fucking about. So, you know, bodybuilding, like I said yesterday, comes down to just stringing together as many perfect days in a row as you can get. And that involves going to bed early. That involves getting your meals in at the right time. You know, there's none of this bullshit like eating off plan every day. So yeah, bodybuilding isn't glamorous. It just really isn't. However, that doesn't mean it can't be fun. I personally absolutely love the routine, the rigidity, and living the same day every single day. That's how you get successful at bodybuilding, is learning to love the process, because at the end of the day, there isn't going to be some big special, you know, reward for everything that you're doing. Like, sure, there's competitions, and sure, you can place well at shows and things like that, but those are the things that are never actually going to truly make you happy. What you need to focus on is the little wins day to day and focusing on them to make you happy. Because like I said, a trophy or a medal at a competition, is a very fleeting feeling. Whereas to me, ticking the boxes daily, living the bodybuilding lifestyle is actually what excites me. Like, I'm excited in the morning to get up at 1 o'clock and do cardio. I'm excited to, message all my clients on WhatsApp and do their check-ins. I'm excited to go and train every single day, and all that stuff is the process, not the destination. So if you can learn to become process driven, not outcome driven, that is how you're going to succeed in bodybuilding. There's no glamour to this shit. There's no huge money endorsements for winning. Bodybuilding ain't gonna make you rich. A competition that you win ain't gonna make you rich, unless of course, you're top 5 in the world and you're winning Mr. Olympias and Arnold Classics, but that ain't most of us. So learn to love the process of bodybuilding, learn to enjoy the little wins every day, and that is how it's done. So anyways, I'm going to finish off these steps now, and I will see you in the kitchen for pre-workout meal. All right, welcome to the kitchen for pre-workout meal time. We have got more of the same. Wow, who would have thought it would be the same day over and over again? Anyways, so what we have got on the menu is fish and rice that we prepared this morning. All right, boom, cooked up in the Flavor Don sauce, the Flavor Gang sweet puppy sauce. So fish and rice, 500 grams of basa, 60 grams of raw weight rice, eaten cold because that's how I like to eat my fish and rice. We then also have 125 grams of pineapple in my trusty pineapple container I already have cut up. And then we are going to do 4 corn thins, all right, multi-grain, along with an additional 80 grams of Manuka honey. So we are going to get that all plated up and we're going to eat that, and then we'll be on to getting all of our pre-workout drinks and all of that ready again. Shout out also to Cover the Pump. All right, this is one of their t-shirts that I recently got sent. I am 170 centimeters tall and 103-ish kilos, and I am a 2XL. So bodybuilding club, fits nicely, makes your boy feel nice and silky. Grab yourself one with my code ASH10. These are the most comfortable pump covers I've ever worn in my life, no joke. I'm not much of a shill. I don't promote things that I don't like, but these are fucking sick and they are super comfortable. So like I said, Cover the Pump, ASH10, save yourself a few bucks, support me, and grab yourself one of the shirts. So I'll see you all in the next clip when I am making my pre-workout pills and potions. All right, pre-workout time. So same business as usual. Let's start off with our intra-workout in our trusty Alka Power 1.5 litre bottle. Funnel on deck. All right, so we are going to rock and roll with 70 grams of Driven Nutrition's Novo Drive, which will net us 50 grams of carbohydrates intra-workout. Another scoop, 56, 63, come on you bastard, come on, there we go, boom, 70 grams. Right, get that shit in there. Okay, to the intra, we are also going to add a little bit of heart salt, so just a little bit more potassium and sodium. Straight in with that. We are going to add some creatine, so 5 grams of creatine to the intra workout. 5 grams of glutamine to the intra workout. There we go. And then 2 grams of taurine to the intra workout. There we go. Done. Get in there, you bastard. Okay. I'm also going to add an additional 20 grams of EAAs to that one. But first, pre-workout. So the fun stuff. The stuff that gets you off your head. Not like back 15 years ago when we used to get all the Jack 3D and all that with the DMA in it. Unfortunately, we're just stuck with caffeine and some citrulline these days. But shout out if you remember back in the day when you'd have a pre-workout and you'd take it at night and you wouldn't sleep all night because you essentially just ingested methamphetamines. So boy, were those the days. All right, anyways, pre-workout. Another 5 grams of creatine. I like to use the grape flavored one for my pre, just to make it taste yummy. So 5 grams of that one. We're going to put a serving of electrolytes into this pre-workout. Okay, a little bit of extra heart salt as well. Done. Okay, pre-workout is going to also have a bit of extra taurine in it. We are going to do a serve of Trained by JP Pumpage. So that'll be 10 grams. This is the sour cherry flavor. So we'll get that one in there. There we go. If I can get this clumpy shit to go through. Nah, she's stuck, that's right. Anyways, and then last up we have a serving of Final Form. So once again, shout out to Mike Pearson from Transparent Supplements. So this one is the Murderous Python flavor. So we're gonna put in 16 grams of that one into our pre-workout. All right, let's do it. There we go, done. All right. She's probably all clogged up now, can't get it through. That's all right, I'll have to get something to push it through. So that's our intra workout done, our pre-workout done, and I will see you all on the way to the gym for pull session today. So big back, biceps, and rear delts. I'll see you then. All right, we are now officially on our way to the gym. We are now going to begin the ritual, which is cracking open a cold Monster. And you know what it is, boys. So today we have got pull. Pull is on the cards, and it is going to be an absolute banger of a session. And do you want to know why I know it's going to be a banger of a session? Because I am caffeinated up, I am nicotined up, and it is a beautiful day outside, so that means there is no option other than success. So, that being said, we're going to take a sip of said cold Monster. We've got our nicotine pouches under our lip, so all that is left is to get some of this bad boy in us. That first sip always slaps. Alright guys, I'll see you at the gym.
Hello.
Morning. Alright, we just arrived at Genesis, so it's time to put our shit away. It's time to get our straps on and hook the fuck into this session. So let's get it. Alrighty, we are starting off this pull session with a single arm cable curl. So I like to grab the cable off of the other end and step all the way over to the other end. As you can see, it's got a little handle on the other side, and I use that as like a distinct position for myself to get into when I'm doing the single arm curl. So the reason why I like to start my pull sessions with a curl, other than the fact obviously that I'm trying to make sure that my arms are getting the attention they need, is because it also really helps my elbow joint when I move into my back movements. When I have my elbows nice and warm, I find that all my back movements feel so much better. I don't get any like achy tendonitis in that bicep joint or anything like that. So as you can see here, I'm letting my arm come behind my body on the eccentric. That basically is going to load the lengthened portion of the movement, just simply for the reason that the biceps respond really well to being lengthened, and this also just feels fucking phenomenal. So if you're looking for a really good bicep movement, start off with a single arm cable curl, because you can load it really heavy, which is obviously going to satisfy the loading aspect of a movement. What I mean by that is you want to be able to actually load a movement pretty heavy and progress it over time for it to be effective. And secondly, the way that I've got this set up here, it's very stable. So when an exercise is stable, it means that it's got a very good chance of being able to be ran for a long time before you run into any issues. So as you can see here, I'm just going back and forth. I did 2 sets on each arm on this day, and check out the Bodybuilding Club Cover the Pump oversized shirt that I'm wearing. Awesome color, fits great. Ash 10 to save at the checkout if you give a fuck. So I'm gonna finish up on our left arm here in a second, and then we are going to move on to the next exercise, which I believe is going to be the lat pull down. So grind out that last rep. Okay. All right, so really heavy here. So we're just about at the full stack at the moment here. And yeah, this lat pull down is fucking heavy. So we did 2 sets of 6 here. There is a little bit of body English, but you guys, you got to remember, you can't be afraid of having a little bit of body English in movements, all right? Because if you spend your whole time worrying about, you know, or this little muscle here is, you know, working and I'm cheating a little bit here, you're never going to fucking get anywhere. You need to get fucking strong at movements and progress them. Over time, you might reset your technique here and there, but for the most part, some movements are just made to grip and fucking rip, and I believe that the lat pull down is one of them. So a little bit of body English there, but nothing major. Now, moving on to the single arm Nautilus row. This row is fucking fantastic for the lat. Just the way that it pulls your elbow down and back. And as you can see here, I'm doing this single arm. I believe that lat work is mostly best done single arm, so that you can line up the apparatus with your upper arm properly. So we did 2 sets each arm here, really focusing on dragging our elbow across the ground as we are pulling our elbow back, and that's going to keep our shoulder down, which is going to keep the lat engaged. Well, stripping off here, showing off the big back. I need to shave my back, but being a single male, I have no one to shave it for me, and I can't reach it myself. So here is the second set on the right arm. As you can see, detail really coming through now. It's 7.5 weeks out. Rear delts popping. Oh, fella walk in front of the camera there. Left side now. I believe we did 2 sets. Oh, well, actually, sorry. I believe we did 1 set of 7 each side, and then we did 1 set of 6 on each side. So 2 working sets, 7 and 6, and that was an improvement on last time, which is all we can ask for. We then moved on to the Nautilus upper back pull down. So when I do this single arm, I'm focusing more on lats, and when I'm doing this dual arm, I'm focusing a bit more on mid back and rear delts. So as you can see here, I'm keeping my elbows flared out a little bit more, and I'm leaning back a touch more and allowing my scaps to stretch forward. So
That's going to hit a little bit more mid-back. Sipping my Novo Drive from Driven Nutrition. Looking nice and pumped. Mogging everyone in the gym. All right, so second set here. I believe it was a set of 13 and then 12 on the second set. So big stretch, driving down through the rear delts and upper/mid back. Great movement. And that's what I love about Genesis, is all this Nautilus equipment that it has. Now, moving on to a straight arm cable rope pullover. Okay, I love doing these in the higher rep range. I believe this first set was actually a set of 20 reps. So really stretching the lat out, getting a really good burn, making sure that I'm blocking off my armpits as I pull my arms down. So really trying to smash my upper arm into my lat. So nice long set here, 20 reps, big burn, big pump. One of my favorite lat exercises. Second movement here. As you can see, I'm really making sure that I stretch the lat up at the top and drive those elbows back and down at the bottom. Getting funky with it. Range of motion shortening as I fatigue a little bit. Cranking out a couple of forced reps. Boom, done. Now we moved on to a upper back seated cable row. I like to use this attachment here because it has the neutral grip on it. The neutral grip is going to allow me to keep my elbows a little bit higher, which is going to tend towards a bit more mid and upper backs, because basically the more flared you have your elbows, the higher up you have your elbows, the higher up of your back you're going to hit. So whereas if I had my elbows nice and low and tight to my body, it would be a lot more lat. So I'm allowing my shoulder blades to stretch forward and to come back at every rep. And this absolutely smoked my upper back by the end of it. Finishing off with a couple of partial reps, boom, done. Now, this rear delt machine is a absolute golden nugget. Not many gyms have this particular piece of kit, but luckily Genesis does, and I absolutely love it for rear delts. It takes out the tricep involvement because you're not grabbing onto any handle with your actual hands. The fact that it's loaded from just behind the elbow means it has a really unique feel to it. So we did 3 sets on this one here. I believe our rep range was around the 12 to 15 mark. So I believe rear delts respond a little bit better to higher volumes and higher rep ranges. Just like the side delts as well, I like to just spam them with volume, so 3 sets. Final set here, really focusing on driving the elbows back, getting a good contraction in the rear delt, and really getting them burning. So final set on this one here. Amazing machine, guys, amazing machine. Shout out to Nautilus for making some of the best kit in the planet, and especially in Albury Wodonga, because we have fuck all gyms here that have good stuff. All right, finishing up with biceps here, alternating dumbbell curls. So I like to start and finish with biceps on my pull day. As you can see here, condition's really good. A few extra carbs in me today from some honey as well, so we got the veins popping. We got the pre-workout pump product absolutely pushing the veins out against the skin. And the Gasp singlet making me look like a absolute fucking tank. So shout out to Gasp for not doing your boy dirty and making me look a lot bigger than I actually am. So finishing up there, and then final set here. So smashing out the alternating curls. The benefit to the alternating curls is that you can go a little bit heavier due to the fact that whenever you train something one side, your motor unit recruitment is higher because your perceived level of exertion is lower. So it just means basically, in short, you can crank it out and go heavy, and that's done. All right, guys, we are currently just finished up from the gym, driving home, and I'm going to end this vlog here. As you can see, it was an absolute killer of a pull session. We either progressed or matched reps on everything, which is awesome. Once again, that means that we're maintaining tissue 7.5 weeks out, which is a great spot to be in. Energy levels really high, everything feeling good. So
I'm going to go home now. I'm going to hook into my post-workout meal, and then it's just going to be client work for the rest of the day. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and I'm going to keep doing my absolute best to keep pumping these vlogs out for you. So as always, please remember to subscribe, share, like, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandmother, and don't forget to leave a comment and let me know what else you'd like to see. Let me know anything you'd like me to improve on. Let me know any questions or anything you'd like me to touch on, and I will do just that for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me now. Peace out, and I'll most likely see you tomorrow.